Hey, Dr. Maka here. This has come up. Let's talk about it. Let's jump in. So, is plastic surgery safe? There have been recent news headlines and things like that. And this is the other thing, especially with the most recent news headline that I'm sure we all know about. May she rest in peace. No one knows really what happened, right? So the important thing, I think a lot of time in these situations, people become internet experts. Like all of a sudden, the reality is no one knows what happened. Like guessing or blaming and this and that is just really not productive. And you just have to, at the end of the day, we have to pay respect to the family and the patient, right? Now, in general, plastic surgery, is it safe? So plastic surgery actually is very safe. I actually tell people, and this is true, I say, your risk of driving into the surgery center is actually higher than your risk of something happening to you, as a result of your surgery or during your surgery, which is true. Now let's take a step back. What do you do whenever you're driving? You get a driver's license. You put on your seatbelt. You look both ways. You make sure you're not on your phone. These are precautions you take, right, to make it as safe as possible. So same thing with plastic surgery as surgeons, but also you as a consumer. All things that you need to be doing to make sure you're being safe. And I share on here things to look out for in terms of red flags. I will share statistics with y'all. I think that's important. So tummy tuck surgery, which is a common part of mind makeover, what is the mortality rate? 1 in about 13,000 by the most recent survey by the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. Liposuction, which is a common part too, 1.3 in 50,000. That's again the same survey by the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. So this will show you that the rate of the incidence of dying from plastic surgery, cosmetic plastic surgery or aesthetic plastic surgery, same thing, is very rare. In my training now, I would say I've been exposed to plastic surgery for over a decade, right? Whether it be training now as a plastic surgeon. You hear about things that happen in your community. You hear about things that happen in the hospital. I've never personally heard of or been or witnessed or had a colleague who had a patient who succumbed to plastic surgery, aesthetic cosmetic plastic surgery. And that's important for you to know, because what happens sometimes when these things come about is that especially media is very alarmist, right? And the response is very very alarmist, and there's an assumption that, oh my gosh, this thing is suddenly really, really unsafe. Well, it can be, depending on how you get it done and just making sure that you're doing everything you should do, right? And on the other app, I did an Instagram Live talking a lot more extensively about this, but I just want to kind of come on here and reassure y'all that plastic surgery generally is safe, but you have to make sure, there's a caveat, you have to make sure you're in good hands, you do your homework, and just make sure you're taking all necessary precautions, right? Because it's your health, right? And I talk about this for years in terms of safety.